Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the question 3A asked in the APJ Abdul Kalam Technology Universities end semester exam, that is university question paper August 2020. The question is the failure time of 10 components are listed in following table. Find the failure density and hazard rate of this data. Also find the mean time to failure of this failure test. So this is a question. We are asked to find the failure density, hazard rate, and mean time to failure. So please note the data is actually the component number 1, 2, 3, and the corresponding failure time is given. So here the number of failure is not given. Here the failure time is given. We have 10 components. First component is failed at 800 to 6 hour. Second component at 2356. Third component failed at 2601. Fourth component 2891. Fifth component 2900. Sixth component 2953. Seventh component 3056. Eighth component 3223. Ninth component 3301. And last component 10th component failed at 3456. So here please note the failure time is given. The problem is normally failure time will give if you are testing very few components, and number of components failed will give if you are testing very large number of components. Second thing, if you are testing very large number of components with a very small data type, the calculation of failure density, hazard rate, reliability will be accurate. If you are using failure time, it will give an inaccurate answer. It will not give a proper idea about the failure density and hazard. The reason is, if you are calculating failure density, what is failure density? Failure density is F divided by delta T into initial population. Here the initial population is 10. But what about delta T? Here delta T is not constant. If you are calculating delta T for the first component, 826 minus 0, before that there is no failure, so 826 minus 0, that is delta T. For second component, 2356 minus 826, that one is delta T. For third component, 2601 minus 2356, that is delta T. So delta T is not fixed, delta T is varying, and the variation of delta T is very large. It is varying between 9 here. From fourth component to fifth component, the delta T is 9 only. It is varying from 9 to something around 1500. So large variation is there. Is it okay? So this failure density and hazard rate calculation will not be an accurate one. We can predict some idea. We can predict something with a very small accuracy, but we can't. So anyway, we are going to calculate the failure density, hazard rate using this data. Okay. So this one is a program used. So this one is a data given. 0 means 0th component. No component is failed. First component is failed. Second component is failed. This is not interval. This is component number. Third component is failed. Fourth component, fifth component, sixth component, seventh component, eighth component, ninth component, 10th component, and this is corresponding failure type. For 0th component, 0, because there is no failure. For first component, this one is a failure type, etc. Now this one is a number of components. So okay, 0 is also ordered, so 11. That one is a raw number. Now this one is the initial sample. The initial sample is 10. We are testing 10 components. Now this one is giving survival. So the 10 minus component number will give the survival. So 0 corresponding to 0th component, number survived is 10. Corresponding to the first failure, number survived is 9. Like that way. Okay. Now it will give failure density. So in order to calculate failure density, you can see that this is equal to, here F is 1. You can see that we are noting the failure time. So during one failure time to another failure time, number of component failed is only 1, because we are noting the failure time of each component. So 1 divided by, now we are calculating delta T. previous time minus current time, current time minus previous time, okay, into now initial population is fixed. Okay, so this is failure density. Then what about failure rate? Failure rate is again f divided by, so here f is 1 because we have the failure time of each component. So 1 divided by, now we need delta t, so current time minus previous time, into the previous survival plus current survival, okay, and reliability is calculated. So reliability is the number of components survived. So this is the number of survived divided by initial population. Now we are drawing the graph of failure density, failure rate, and reliability. So that we are going to do. Okay. So now we have failure data. The first row is component number, not interval. This is component number, and this is a corresponding failure time. So first row is 0. The other one is just added for convenience in order to calculate the data. Actually, from this second row we have the data, given data. Okay. Now we are going to calculate the survival. The third row is number of survival. So initially we have 10 components survived. After this failure of first component, 9 components survived. After the failure of second component, 8 components survived. So like that way it will go. So 10, 9, 8. After the failure of 10th component, number of survival is so. Now we are going to calculate the failure density. So what is the first failure density? The first component. So from this to this, one component is failed. So 1 divided by delta t, 826 minus 0, into initial population is 10. So 1 divided by 826 into 10. So that is the failure density, 1 divided by 826 into 10. So we have 0.0001. Okay. Now during the second, now from 1 to 2. So this is, here one component is failed. So here second component is failed. So it means between these two one component is failed. So what is the corresponding failure density? That 1 divided by delta t. Delta t is 2356 minus 826. So this one is this difference is the delta t into, now initial population is 10. So that is 1 divided by 2356 minus 826 into 10. So we have 0.000065. Okay. Then during the next one is, so here again one component is failed. So 1 divided by 2601 minus 2356 into initial population, that is 10. So we have 0.0004. So that is a failure density. Next failure density is again 1 divided by 2891 minus 2601 into 10. So we have 0.0003. Now the next one is 1 divided by 2900 minus 2891. So this is small value into 50. Sorry, into 10. Initial population is 10. So into 10. So we have 0.0111. So here you can see a large increase due to very small delta t. So this is the problem of this type of data. We can calculate actually failure density and failure rate. It will give an inaccurate one. So now during the next one is 1 divided by 2953 minus 2900 into 10. So we have 0.0019. Now the next one is 356, sorry, 1 by 356 minus 2953 into 10. So we have 0.0009 Now the next one is 1 divided by 3223 minus 3056 into 10. So we have 0.00059. Now the next one is 1 divided by 3301 minus 3223 into 10. So we have 0.0013. The next one is 1 divided by 3456 minus 3301 into 10. So we have 0.0006. So you can see that it is increasing initially, then it is again decreasing, then again it is increasing. So it has a irregular pattern. This is actually due to the data. We have a few number of components tested. Okay, so that is a problem of this type of data. Okay. Now we are going to calculate the failure rate. So what is failure rate? So again, number of components failed is 1. So 1 divided by delta T. So here 1 divided by 826 minus 0 into, now average of survival, that is S of I minus 1 plus S of I divided by 2, that is 10 plus 9 divided by 2. So we have 1 by 826 minus 0 into 10 plus 9 divided by 2. So we have, that is something like this equation, 1 divided by, in bracket, first one delta T, so 826 minus 0, so this is delta T into, now average of S of I minus 1, that is 10 plus 9 divided by 2, so that is average of initial population of the final population of that particular failure. Okay, so this is equal to 0.00012, so 0.00012, so this one is a failure. Now what about the next one? Next one is 1 divided by, now what about delta T? This 2356 minus is 826 into, now average of population, that is 9 plus 8 divided by 2, 9 plus 8 divided by 2, so that is 0.000076, so 0.000076. What about next one? 1 divided by 2601 minus 2356 into this 8 plus 7 divided by 2. So we have 0.00054. Now the next one is 2891, sorry, 1 by 2891 minus 2601 into 7 plus 6 divided by 2. So we have 0.00053. Now what about next one? 1 divided by 2900 minus 2891 into 6 plus 5 divided by 2. That is 1 divided by 2900 minus 2891 into, what we have, 6 plus 5 divided by 2. So we have 0.0202. Alright, 0.0202. Now what is the next one? 2950, sorry, I'm very sorry, 1 by 2953 minus 2900 into 5 plus 4 divided by 2. So we have 0.0042. What about next one? 1 divided by, in bracket, 3056 minus 2953, close the bracket, into, open another bracket, 4 plus 3 by 2, the average of these two. Now close the second bracket. So what we have? We have 0.0028. Now what about next one? 1 divided by, open the bracket, 3223 minus 3056 into, close the bracket, So close the bracket, then into. Now average of these two, that is 3 plus 2 divided by 2. So we have 0.0024. What about next one? 1 divided by, open the bracket, 3301 minus 3223, close the bracket, into average of these two in denominator. So 2 plus 1 divided by 2. So we have 0.0085. Now what about the last one? 1 divided by, in bracket, 3456 minus 3301, close the bracket, into, now average of these two, that is 1 plus 0 divided by 2. So we have 0.012. So this one is failure rate. Now what about reliability? We can easily calculate reliability because the third column is number of survival corresponding to each time, so the time is noted. So what about reliability? This number of survival divided by the initial population, that is 10. So that is equal to 1 corresponding to 826.9 corresponding to time to 2356.8, etc., corresponding to time 3456. Reliability is 0. So this one is reliability. So now I am going to show the plot of failure density, that is fourth column, plot of failure rate, that is fifth column, and plot of reliability, sixth column. So this one is a plot of failure density. So you can see that up to 800 there is no failure, then it is increasing. Then here a large increase is there because this is actually corresponding to this small delta t. I told you this is small, that is why this large thing. Okay, so that is a problem of this type of failure data where the failure time is noted. If you are noting the failure time, this type of problem is there. Okay, now the failure rate. So this is failure rate. This is a problem. Actually, you can see that this is increasing with respect to time. So this is actually increasing with respect to time. So if it is increasing, if failure rate is increasing with respect to time, what about failure density? Failure density will increase up to a particular time, then it will decrease. So that characteristics are followed here. Here we have a problem. This is due to a very small delta t. Okay. Now the reliability. You can see the reliability is continuously decreasing. So here corresponding to this one is a failure. So this one is a reliability. Here we have a sudden decrease in reliability. This is due to this thing, this particular aspect. Otherwise, it is a smooth curve. It is initially the slope is 0, then it is increased. If you are drawing a curve, smooth curve like this way, somewhere here we have a maximum slope, then it is again decreased. Okay, so this one is a plot of this graph, but please note this is not accurate because this type of data will not give an accurate failure density, failure rate, and reliability graph. Please note, or we can't model this type of data. That is not possible because we have very few components. Very few components are tested. Okay, so it will not give an accurate model. Accurate modeling is not possible. Okay.